ahead and get started.
Okay.
Apologize for my rather casual outfit here. I just got done with Little League practice, so.
Okay.
So I have no agenda. I would be happy to try to address any questions you all have regarding the final project.
So one question that I had, but Corey had it as well, and you answered it, was how to submit it all. And you had responded to him that we are to, one team member submits, and we submit the Gantt, the case analysis, and I'm confused by what you mean by the presentation. What is the presentation? Is that,
well,
is that our...
most people will, most groups are going to put together a presentation in like a PowerPoint or something to go through their analysis, right? So it's basically the slide deck that you're using when you present the project to me.
Okay.
So you're going to want to upload that slide deck. You're going to want to upload your written case analysis. That's your formal paper.
Right.
And you're going to want to upload your Gantt chart. And then you're each going to be responsible for submitting a team member evaluation rubric for every member of your team. You
Okay.
can email those. You can just email those to me directly.
Okay.
It's helpful if you upload your materials prior to your actual presentation, particularly your slide deck, so I have a chance to look at it before you present it to me.
So what is the mechanism to present to you is we will invite you to a Zoom meeting like you did for us today?
Correct.
And then we there's four of us. Tony's on my team.
Yes.
We each take a portion and present to you, or do you? Okay.
That's how I would do it. Now, in the past, I've had groups do it a number of different ways. I've had groups carve it up sequentially. So if somebody does the intro, maybe somebody does the middle, somebody does the end. I've also had groups pass it back and forth a lot. Either way works fine as long as you all can handle the transition smoothly. The rubric for the project does have a portion of it that talks about the presentation and the quality of the presentation. So that's part of what I'll be grading you on, is how well you present your materials to me.
Okay.
So what I wouldn't do is I wouldn't use your presentation to me to be the first time you use Zoom. I would definitely practice it. Just like if you were trying to do a presentation sort of live in the real world, you want to try to iron out the kinks before you do it.
Okay, that makes sense. We've actually been using Zoom a lot for our team meetings, and it's a good tool. I've never used it prior to this class, so I appreciate knowing about it. That was a learning.
Yeah, and some of that is hopefully you get a little side benefit of this course is you've been exposed to a couple new tools that you might want to use going forward. Zoom is really inexpensive too, so if you have the opportunity, I would check it out.
Okay, great. Tony, was that all? I'm sorry, Tony, what else? What other questions did we have? I think, was that it?
No, and I think I mentioned the PPL to you, Rita, PowerPoint.
The PowerPoint, yeah, I wasn't clear on that.
Yeah, so maybe that's something to consider. I had it in my notes that I took the first time we met, I guess, about the project.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're going to want to put a slide deck together to just provide, just like any slide deck, it's going to just be your talking points and your overview. Because you're not, obviously, when you do your presentation, you're not going to want to throw up your 10-page written analysis and go through that. You want something crisp, quick, that you can run through and hit the big points. Some people, I think it's a positive if you can include somewhere in your presentation elements of your Gantt chart.
Okay.
So you can call those out. So really, ideally, the PowerPoint should flow from your analysis in your Gantt chart.
Okay.
So the basis of this, the written portion, the narrative, should be very similar to how the Kendricks Kendrick's?
Yeah, it's similar. I mean, what we've been doing is working up to this project.
Right.
It's basically just more in depth. So what you're doing is you're taking what we've learned in this course and using it as a lens to analyze what happened in this case. There's no right or wrong answer as long as you substantiate your analysis, right? As long as you have a grounding in research or in the text to support what you're saying. So you don't want to make unsubstantiated statements, right, or recommendations. You may find that in this case, Charlotte Beers did certain aspects of Cotter's change model really well, and you can call that out. Like, she hit these three things she did really well, but these few things were missing, and we recommended she would have done X, Y, and Z in order to execute on those. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So you were using what we learned over the 8 weeks as a framework to analyze this case. It's an old case, but that doesn't really matter. I've had that criticism before. The age of the case makes no difference. We're still using the same framework to analyze it, and it's a really rich case. There's a lot in there, and some of it you'll notice is shockingly close to what Cotter's recommending. Some of what he recommends is, in my view, almost not present at all. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm really looking for you to apply what you've learned to this case.
So there's not an exact guide or restrictions. It's all based on what we've learned to date then.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you, Doctor.
Yep.
Okay. Well, you've answered all my questions, Dr. Hoffman. I feel bad that we made you come in from Little League just for a couple questions, but
no. It was the weather was miserable, so that was actually an excellent excuse to leave early. So no, I should thank you. So.
Okay.
Is there anything else I can answer, or?
I was asking Ken that because I could relay for him. I live nearby him. But he hasn't responded yet. No, he doesn't have any questions. He's just listening. So.
Okay, great. And if you don't mind, I recorded this. Do you mind if I share it with the class just so that?
Oh, not at all.
They can share this too. Okay, great. I will endeavor to do that. So I'm going to try to post that up on the water cooler so people can see it.
Super.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you for your time.
All right. Well,
Dr. Hoffman.
thanks for reaching out to me, and good luck with the last couple weeks of the course.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Good night.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Rita, can I'll give you a ring or a text.